Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teachers Do. Today with me, Pika Shades.
Hey.
And we're continuing our crisis coverage with Final Crisis. And of all of the crisis events, this one had the least impact.
Yes.
On its own. It did some stuff that was clearly told you got to do this to lead into other events, like a certain some character's deaths. But for the most part, it's the most superfluous. It feels like this was just done for Morrison to get the story out of his system finally.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It felt like more like the tie-ins had more of an impact in the event itself.
Yeah, and I'm going to look a few pages like this. The art looks kind of sterile and cold.
It was J.G. Jones, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we won't see it for long because unfortunately it wasn't handled well at all.
Yeah, Doc Marco takes over at some point.
Yep, and Carlos Pacheco, who matched the late Carlos Pacheco, rest in peace.
Oh.
Yep, but yeah, basically Final Crisis is supposed to be Grant Morrison's The End of the New Gods, and it was supposed to be the end of the Crisis trilogy, which apparently Dark Crisis is taking it. Now I will say this. The events of Final Crisis do still have some reverberation, but that's around the time of metal and death metal and everything is when it finally got recognition with the events itself. But basically, this was Morrison trying to give us the end of the New Gods. He was trying to end the New Gods in a way that Kirby would be proud of. Would Kirby be proud of? I don't think so. I always felt Morrison went too much into the metaphysicalness of the New Gods. Like, yes, Kirby said they were gods, but I think Morrison took it a bit too far by having it be Darkseid, the living embodiment of evil. I don't think Kirby was willing to go as far as Morrison did.
We can talk about that when we reach it, because there's some not something fan. I had this one idea for a one final fan fiction I was gonna do, but I never got to. But we can talk about it when we get to the scene in the story that inspired me to at least think it up.
All right, so let's get started. First of all, good cover, but I gotta say, these covers, I don't like the aesthetic. I like the artwork here, but I do not like this split.
Yeah, it's like...
I like these covers. These covers are fine.
Yeah, these are the main characters, or... Holly is one of them.
And this is clearly Morrison's idea. This was clearly Morrison's idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I also do like this. One thing that Morrison made it clear he wanted to do was begin with what's his name?
Anthro,
the first boy, and end with Commandi, the last boy. And I like that idea. Yeah. That is something I think Kirby would have done if given a reason to. If the idea came to his head, I'm sure he would have done it. But yeah, I am Metron. Have no fear. Here is knowledge. So Metron, the New Gods, gave man fire. And we have Vandal Savage.
Prometheus in this
we have Vandal Savage. Now, this makes sense. This is continuing on with it, but I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of how he completely just radically altered Anthro. Like, he had his own backstory and characterization and everything. Here, it just feels like he's completely redoing the character. You asked me, fire was our first big mistake. Dan Turpin, like everyone else, the sad, stinking human race ever thought of. We take a good idea and we use it to kill ourselves. Here's me, way past retirement and 3 weeks out on the trail of 6 missing kids. Bright kids, gifted kids, who went out one day and never came home. Last thing I expected was to find a super muck in the garbage. Yowza! Heavens cracked and broken. You, get your heads off me. They did not die. He is in you all. Fight. And look who's in the corner.
Yeah, Black Razor.
Now, just to also make this clear, Death of the New God, Morrison ignored it. Down to Final Crisis, broad stroked.
Yeah,
Well, like,
the Black Racer in the original fourth world, it was more like someone with actual skis.
Well, no, he has skis here still.
Yeah, skis and skiing sticks, like someone who was cross-country skiing or slope and going down slope.
Yeah, John, you have to check this out. The weather's going nuts. Hold on a second. I have a message coming in. Lantern Stewart 28.14.2. And 1011 in progress. 1011 in progress. 1011. What the hell is 1011? Back in the day was the Metropolis Special Crime Unit. I learned how to stop a superhuman dead. But me seeing this, me being here, feels like sacrilege. And let the space cops handle the fallout. I'm gone. My backup on the way yet? Lantern Jordan 2814.1 has been alerted. His ring is not responding at this time. We used to fight in the alleyways. Guys, and these days fight in the clouds. Progress? You tell me. Didn't the question used to be a guy? Lung cancer from smoking. And he's smoking. Lightweight. I'm sorry. What do you got? A question, you ignorant all. Burp. What did your six have in common, apart from being poor and smart? Any evidence of superpower metagene activity, for instance? Somebody's been targeting metakids. And I keep turning up links to this place. You be careful in the shadow, Danny boy. Why are you helping me anyway? Hey, the Darkseid Club. Super mucks.
Okay. Turbin has turned somewhat sour from the man we saw in Funeral of a Friend. With the age, making him bitter.
Yep, but what kept you, Flyboy? Blonde or redhead? Deep and dreamless. What's the story, John? Cooling rapidly. You ever hear about 1011, Hal? Apparently it doesn't happen too often. 1011, deicide. Somebody just murdered a god on our watch. Now, another problem here. Morrison treats the new, Orion here, who's been a teammate for them. Morrison even wrote him in here, yet they're treating with such, like there's no connection.
Yeah, he was in which Justice League?
The JLA, Morrison's.
Huh.
Yeah. But take a look for yourself. Recognize them? Orion, soldier and the soldier god of New Genesis. #1 cosmic hard ass. Yep. So, he does know him, but they're still so distant about it.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, I'll report...
Did Infinity Crisis retcon this?
Nope. Again, I think unless it was made otherwise, let's not assume Infinite Crisis ever retconned anything. That's how I always looked at it. But anyway, I'll report to the Guardians of Noah. You alert the Justice League. So basically, the Guardians stay, seal it off. Basically, they need to put in a barrier around there and send in some of the Alpha Lanterns. You do know the Alpha Lanterns were created specifically for this.
Yeah, maybe not for this, but
no,
I have gone through John's run on Green Lantern, so I know when they were created, and I also that John was also someone who was picked up for it, but he declined it.
Yeah, which was good.
Yeah, considering how we later see Alpha Lantern Kraken.
But anyway, you have Mossy Manos dealing with some of the villains until Dr. Light shows up with Mirror Master. And I like how he even says, this is the blindly obvious Dr. Light Mirror Master team. Obviously. Why these two never team up?
Because they would be this overpowered.
Yep, but they find the Mobius chair. And they're going to take it to Libra. And we find that Lex Luthor is there. He's like, do I have to outline this in tedious detail one more time before I walk? You may have dazzled the rank and file, but the rest of us, do we look like the sort of people who'd be inclined to follow orders? Luthor's right. I invite us to some abandoned theater right in the heart of Flash territory. Then you invite us. You expect us to hand over the reins of the secret society? We are organized super crime specialists. I don't want to take your place at all. Please. But people have been waiting 50,000 years for Vandal Savage to corrupt civilization beneath his boots all. Excuse me if I stifle a yawn. I am not averse to the taste of human flesh, sir. Spoken like a true gentleman. And who says I'm human anyway? Strikes. Now, I will say this. Libra, the way Morrison handled him, he brings back this character who, was left dangling. He basically was the guy who ascended to godhood, and it's like, well, what happened?
Yeah. Wasn't this the same guy who was in the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon renamed as Equinox?
No, different character.
Huh.
Equinox is a completely different character.
Okay,
Equinox, I think so anyway, hold on.
Okay, if it's not, then Wikipedia, that's one case of false information on Wikipedia.
They could have changed it. I could be wrong. Hold on, I'm looking.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is a rework. Like a broad stroke.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it says here he's a link between Lord of Chaos and Order. So, no, completely different.
Okay.
Yeah, that's completely different character.
Wrong and...
yeah, this one more dealt like, it was more like OMAC.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, but I do like this. So, and he was one of the original founders of the Society or the Injustice League.
Okay.
So it makes sense. But yeah, so he's basically making him a deal saying that, I love this. A full-on, no bullshit Twilight of the Gods, referencing Morrison's story. Which apparently, did you know that Morrison actually, he's the one who withdrew the story?
Yeah.
Did you know that? He withdrew the pitch. It's not that DC chickened out.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, we have
this day is the story we got this.
Yep.
This phone model.
Yep, but we have the Human Flame who says, hey, he's gonna take care of the Martian Manhunter for me, who the villains abandoned during Salvation Run. By the way, do you know who came up with Salvation Run?
Was that Morrison too?
Nope. You're not gonna believe it. George R.R. Martin.
Oh.
Game of Thrones himself. He's the one who came up, who pitched the idea. He didn't write it, but he came up with the idea. But yeah, John Jones gets a very disgraceful death that's only salvaged by the backups and the bonus issue.
Yeah, I remember. It's like John. There was in that one back side.
Yeah, we'll get to it. That's in here. Yeah. But yeah, we got Glorious Godfrey repersonified as a preacher, of course.
Yeah,
and the new Tattoo Man, which hold on.
I remember this guy was
introduced in Jeff Johns. He was introduced in Jeff Johns' run of Green Lantern. EVS drew him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's showing to the Darkseid Club, which again, a lot of tie-ins utilized it, especially Terror Titans.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's led in there to meet Lord Darkseid, who has been reborn in a human body. And basically, okay, here's where some of the confusion gets, but they do spell it out for you. When we saw Lord Darkseid in Secret Secret 7, during all that, he basically when we're going to see eventually Darkseid did die. He did die against Orion, but when he did, he fell back in time. So there's a bit of a time paradox here.
Yeah.
So when he came back, fell back through time after his death and cheated death, he was reborn in his body, but unfortunately his body is dying now.
Yeah. So he lived a life as this one guy.
Yes. Well, a brief life, a very brief life.
So he might as well be a 5-year-old.
Well, something like that. Or he was reincarnated into it. Who knows? But anyway, he used that to build up this empire so he can be able to, basically, he cheated death. He cheated his big death at the hands of Orion. So he's utilizing, basically he's grabbing on. Even if he's going to take the entire multiverse down with them, he doesn't care. But basically, we see all these...
if I'm going down, I'm taking everything with me.
or he's going to just struggle to survive. But yeah, we see the Alpha Lanterns put a barrier around the Earth. No one can come in or out. We're also brought in with the monitors. Like as we're seeing the I forgot what they call it. The oh, we'll get to it. Also, we have the
By the way, I used this in a fan fiction I wrote back in 2014. I think it was. I had in one fan fiction I wrote. I had a scene or actually a story set inside this room where with all the Earth shown.
I would say this. And Morrison's idea of all these multiple monitors was not a bad idea, but it was so underutilized.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but if it's not used much, it's
and then he wipes it out. And he wipes it out.
Yeah,
it's like I think that's sometimes Morrison's problem. He comes up with good ideas, but then he just uses it for the story he had in mind. Has same thing happened in Multiversity.
Oh.
But anyway, we're brought in by n00bs, whose world was wiped out. Now, of course, this clashes with what happened in New 52, not New 52 Countdown.
52 Earth was the
but anyway,
one that in the last few issues where they released the virus and everything turned into
Now, of course, anything that's not tied into here, basically the way I've noticed is more to Countdown is more referenced than Final Crisis as far as some of the events. Like Jeff Johns would actually utilize the death of Karate Kid and Una.
Yeah.
But yeah, we then see Weijia Dell, who was the love interest of n00bs, and she's being met up with one of the other monitors, and she's basically trying to say, like, the orrery is what it's called. This is called the orrery.
Damn, if I hadn't actually acknowledged it back then when I wrote the damn thing. we'll talk about that the recording about that.
Right. But basically, Zelo Vala's her name. She's dressed more like a Kryptonian, of course.
Yeah, that's headdress is a dead giveaway.
And then we see one of the other monitors is evil. Now, none of these are the original monitor. And I will say, Morrison does get a little complicated on what Snyder would call the Omni monitor. That's the original monitor. And I believe it's eventually implied that that n00bs is the I think Morrison was originally trying to go with the villain we're going to see later, Mandrak, was the Omni monitor. I think that was the implication, but it didn't go anywhere. So we have Kamandi running up to Anthro and finds out what Metron had given him, which actually can protect you. And we then find out n00bs be reborn as a human, as the news is talking about John Jones's death. By the way, you know what running gag that Jeff Johns would say at panels when he was asking, why'd you call this character? I need Black Lanterns.
Yeah.
Because he realized there weren't that many dead characters to utilize.
Okay,
now we got the Morrison embracing the Japanese use and everything. As we're seeing Red Sun is dealing with a bunch of these kids who are basically reincarnations of the what would they call the forever people.
Forever people.
And or the super brats or whatever they're known as. And basically, and Morrison would utilize something similar in Multiversity, of just the idea of these spoiled brat teenagers who would have powers. They wouldn't be superheroes. They'd just be like, I'm a celebrity. Look at me. In a way, I gotta say it, I hate to say this, Ecstatics did this better, and they weren't even teenagers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it might maybe because how little are they used in it?
Not much. That's the other thing with Morrison. This is one of those stories where he introduced something that ends up being useful, but it's only useful to the plot point. As he would always say, the story and the plot move the characters instead of the characters moving the story.
Yeah.
But we get Sunny Sumo again, tying this up with Kirby, because Sunny Sumo was then back in time with the Omega due to the Omega sanction. And hold on a second. Just a sec. Oh, I hate when that happens.
Oh, yeah, that will happen.
Yep, just want to make sure I put in something, but I'm going to remove some names so I don't have to tag anyone them in. Oh, good. They're all in a row. Just a moment. Just a moment. I keep forgetting about this. Okay, that's good. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, Sumi Sumo, like these guys are bothering me. Even gets burned, but he takes the guy down. The burn still hurt him, though. But someone shows up. It's Mr. Miracle, the second Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
I forget what Shiloh Norman, who utilizes it and heals him with thanks to the mother box. Again, so much of this stuff is, I think Morrison was trying to keep this self-contained, but that's something you should do with something like this.
Yeah, because also some of these characters are also introduced to first-time readers coming here because what happens.
But which is fine, but it makes people think this was their first time ever interacting, or is the first time. Like, okay, here makes sense. They don't know. But I see Nick Suoton's trying to live his own life as he's drawing different things from the multiverse. Now, these are all designs that Morrison came and would do. Because yeah, Morrison's not that bad an artist. Now we see that Turpin is beating up the Mad Hatter. Why? He doesn't know how he got there. It's later made clear that Darkseid's possessing him and is corrupting him. Oh, now I do love this. John Jones was my friend. Always there. Always strong, always reliable. He was someone I could confide in, someone who understood that it was like to and what it was like to lose a world and find another. We all miss him and pray for a resurrection. I love that. By this point, they're just like, it could happen. It's not guaranteed.
Yeah, but it's pretty much. And it's a meta way of saying, yeah, this guy will be back sooner and faster than you can say.
Yep, but I love it though. Was Libra's like, well, gentlemen, convinced the Martian Manhunter was an easy target. Hurt Superman, perhaps I'll take you seriously. Until then, let's say what you like, loser. Libra deliver for the human flame, and I'm next on the Christmas list. So no screwing this up for me. So let me get this straight. If you're saying I hurt Superman, you'll join me. Well, now, as we then see, of course. Luther feels like, nope, he offers their heart desires in return for loyalty. He ain't falling for it, which makes sense. But Human Flame is being one of the big ones. Like, he's been a nobody, a loser, but he feels like now he's somebody. But yeah, so Batman is looking into about what happened to Orion. Some type of bullet, which they couldn't find at first. Well, basically it's gone through him. So, and this is where we get a bit more detail with the Green Lantern Corps, but at the same time, it makes some sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're trying to go and deal with it. Of course, Krakoa, the Alpha Lantern, is being very bitchy.
Yeah.
But John's trying to found the bullet. And but then something is called Radion. Unfortunately, though, then it stopped working and someone ambushes John and totally hurts him.
Hey, by the way, this is something that I skimmed through this a few days ago. So in this page, the middle panel, that Green Lantern that's supposed to be Hal.
No, that's not Hal. That's not Hal.
Yeah, I like that Hal. But does this look like he has a head or no head?
What? This? Oh, this one here. I think that's. Oh, we're supposed to think it's Hal. I think that was an accident.
Yeah, because there's no neck going up.
Yeah, that's weird. I think it was a little too much lower. I think they shifted it down a little. But anyway, the Alpha Lanterns come to arrest Hal because they believe he did it. Now remember, the Alpha Lanterns were always meant to be like the internal affairs.
Internal affairs.
But unfortunately, so Orion is breaking down because he's a god at everything.
Mm.
But then it turns out someone is inside Krakoa and is pretty much eating her mind. So Batman's fighting her, but she wins, and we find out it's Granny Goodness.
Yeah, it was Kraken, not Krakoa.
A Kraken, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about X-Men, sorry.
Yeah.
But like, did you think the gods would tread lightly when they came among you into the boom tube with you? A new plaything for Granny. The life you knew is over. Mine now. But yeah, we then see Turpin meets up with with Reverend Godfrey, who's like, gotta love TV. Oh, great one. Hallelujah. I knew I'd find you here. I gotta say, given how John DiMaggio handled Joker in Under the Red Hood, and especially in Death in the Family, I could so see him voicing Godfrey. Because you notice, he pretty much treated Joker like almost like he was a reverend or a pastor, like, hallelujah!
Yeah, probably. And even this is about me. I've been making that joke about when it comes to raceman characters. I've been saying that they were get outed. Like what this is pretty much, because compare Godfrey from Legends to this Godfrey.
Yeah, but to be fair, again, the Godfrey we saw was the actual new god form.
Yeah.
This is him, all of them being put into, just dumped into human bodies that can't handle all their power.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been along where we mentioned about Calabac is dead, or they're growing a new body for Calabac. My son died. That was supposed to be a clue, like, oh God, you can't get away with this. Like, Turpin is conflicting. He's fighting. All the while we're finding out that all this stuff is Darkseid doing this all under the hero's nose. And Batman is being tortured on, which would be in the Batman books.
Yeah, it was a kind of
Now we also then see everything's fine at the Daily Planet, but then Jimmy runs off and is like, wait a minute, Jimmy's supposed to be somewhere else. And it turns out it was a Clayface. Not the one we saw earlier, but one of the other Clayfaces. And he blows up, hurting Lois.
Yeah. This is a
Yep.
Doesn't lead into must not be a very powerful bomb when it doesn't cause a Kingdom Come event or an Injustice explosion kind of death event.
Yeah. Well, it's meant to hurt her, take him off the board, but not kill her.
Yeah, worse fate than death.
Yeah, but yeah, so we see Barry and Jay. By this point, no, not Barry, Wally. Wally and Jay are heading over to, funny enough, the nude porno theater. It actually was the location of where they first met. Where they first met. No, and the meeting of the bad guys.
Oh.
But then all of a sudden, Barry shows up running for the bullet while being chased by the Black Racer.
Yeah.
Now this, I'm just going to breeze through this. This was just the Requiem one shot. And this was basically Peter Tomasi giving a much better farewell to Jean than he deserved.
Right. Yeah, that's not here.
By him doing a big fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, by having him psychically going after everyone. Yep. What good way to take her off the board than just be like, give daddy some sugar.
Yeah, even when the whatever brainwashing Nussa had done was probably.
So again, I do like this. This was a chance to give everyone a chance. And the fact that everyone felt him, felt what happened. You even felt his burning. And that's horrible. But also one thing I love though is at the end, what do they leave on his coffin, which actually will be there by Blackest Night? A Choco. Batman left a Choco there, which would still be there when he resurrects in Blackest Night.
Yeah.
But again,
those have expiration dates, don't they?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's just a tribute.
Yeah. If it's there when the genre eventually rises up, then
it's stay up.
Yeah.
But again, that was a good. I would just say that for just breathing through it, that was a good one. Just a good, give them an actual fight. Now, still J.G. Jones here. We got Frankenstein, and the Question meeting up at one point as they're trying to take out one of the Darkseid clubs. And then there's what's his name? Not Uncle Sam.
You know
what I'm talking about, right? He's the leader of Shade. Father Time.
Oh, okay.
That's Father Time with Shade, telling him what to do. But then we see Overgirl crash. This is the Nazi version of Supergirl.
Oh.
But she dies there. We then see Nick Suoto get fired because he's just creeping everyone out. Then they're telling Jay and Wally, Jay's telling them about how Barry showed up and they had the race, and they see the bullet hitting Orion, which we'll see when it was fired. Again, time is wonky, but it makes sense. It doesn't make sense as you're reading it through. You have to read. This is a book where you have to read twice.
Yeah, it's the reread value.
But we then see that Barry and Wally run off. Jay couldn't keep up. Makes sense. I mean, he couldn't keep up before. I love this. Yep. Go ahead. Yep. In Infinite Crisis.
Jay was the before Speed Force Flash.
Sorry.
In the sense that he was running before Barry created the.
But he's too old. Now.
Yeah, and that too.
But I love it then when they're giving a new helmet for Human Flame. I love it. It's like I can hear a voice. Is this a radio playing? A voice? What to say, Mike? Listen closer. Eh? You hear it now, Mike? That's the anti-life equation, you pathetic, ignorant little failure. And with that, then he's able to convince everyone, even saying how Superman has been off the board. He's been stopped in his track. He hasn't answered an emergency call in 18 hours. So he decides to join up, but now it's called Anti-Life Justifies My Hatred and everything. Basically saying you can renounce science, swear an oath on the Bible of crime, and pledge your service to the master of all evil. Because it was later revealed that turns out Libra ended up on Apocalypse when and was found by Darkseid, and basically realized I ascended, but there are gods beyond me.
Yeah.
Now there's Lois. Look at that. And turns out somehow he's using his heat vision to somehow keep her heart beating.
Okay, so it's basically a spectrum that goes there. There's the warmth, light warmth that goes through that. Yeah, this is me trying to understand.
I know.
It goes through the atoms, and then it just focuses on with the X-ray vision and kind of similar to what he did with Manchester Black, but in a more gentle version of it.
And clearly done a way that goes through her skin.
Yeah.
But anyway, the monitor shows up, which is going to lead into Superman Beyond, which we'll get to. Then we're seeing Kraken and others arresting Hal, and Hal's acting really weird. Now we have Alan Scott saying we're going to have to do Article X, the draft for superheroes. Now, Aquaman here, this was meant to be an attempt to bring him back, but nothing happened.
Yeah, because Arthur was dead at this point.
Dead. Freddy was Shazam by this point. Everyone's about ready to go in. And just look at all that. Now, I will say though, this is the least impressive of the group shots.
Yeah, this could have been probably better if it was a horizontal, like third
double page.
Not like this, put it like this, like that. That. So it's more spread more. That would make it more impressive.
Yeah, but Sharon Norman's jet blows up. But then they're told to get on board with this, the Funmobile, I believe it's called, or or something wagon. And so they head on out there. Wonder Woman is helping out some people in Bloodhaven because Bloodhaven was still a mess, especially after what happened in Battle for Bloodhaven.
Yeah, and even looking at Chernobyl for a comparison, it would take years before it would be hospitable again.
Yep, you have the Atomic Knights, but then they see some of the villains who are there dead, and then we see Mary Marvel. And she's possessed by Darkseid.
Yeah, this was more like this was an idea that Morrison had, and it was an idea how it would work.
But Countdown didn't get the memo. But I'll say this wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the outfit. It's the outfit. But yeah, so we have Wonder Woman versus Mary Marvel. And unfortunately, though, then Wonder Woman is made as patient zero of the anti-life equation in viral form.
Yeah.
And then they find out that they're going to be sending through the mass email out to everyone for the anti-life equation through email form. And Barbara shuts down the internet.
Yeah, like
because of course she can.
Yeah. It's like not something that it can be done like one step, not multiple steps at a time.
Yep. Now her having a kill switch, I can believe it. It just still feels so out there. But yeah, then we have turns out Barry and Wally tried to catch the bullet, but instead they ended up jumping a month later.
Yeah,
which actually allowed Morrison to give a break for the artist.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's probably
again, what's with the fetishness?
I don't know if that's supposed to be like the.
It's fetishizing things. It's fetishizing things.
Yeah, because the bad guys who are doing this, they would probably do this.
Yeah. But anyway, so this then will there's issue 4, but we got Superman Beyond, which is important.
Yeah.
As we open up with your cosmic armor is no match for my eternal power. Tell me, Superman, what shall we engrave upon your tombstone? And Superman is having a nightmare. That's a nightmare as he wakes up. And that's when then the Monitor shows up to take him with him. To try, because if they don't, all worlds will die. So basically, now Doug Monk's artwork here is good.
Yeah, it's with the inking done and the coloring. It's it's more brightful and cleaner than how it was in What's So Funny About Ruthless in the American Way.
Yep. Now all this is happening between seconds. That way she can make it back. And basically, she says the only way to heal her is with something from the bleed energy. But yeah, it turns out we have Overman, we have Shazam, Earth's S Shazam, and we have the Captain Atom that's more Dr. Manhattan-like. And we get all this stuff like 4D perspective, which if this version we would be wearing the 3D glasses.
It's a shame that the hardcover or the graphic novel didn't have those.
Yep. But yeah,
they would be like
yep.
They would be made of cardboard anyway.
Right. But yeah, they're going through between universes. We see Ultraman fighting off a bunch of characters as they're basically going through. This is it was either the Marvel or the Ultimates, one of their alternate ones, but they're going through all different Earths. You're saying we're punching through universe after universe out of control.
Yeah.
So they end up crashing on they go past Earth 20, Earth 17, and they finally land on Earth 51, the graveyard universe. Now Ultraman is working with them, and he's yelling about it. And I love this. Bonding with the onboard AI. There are 10 yottabytes of data. Again, Morrison uses these big words, and I get where he's going with it, but at the same time, he's breezing through it. It's like there's this bigger story that we just don't find about. Would you agree? That's been the big problem.
I can recognize this. It was also something like biting more than you can, chewing that you can chew, chewing more than you can swallow. Something like trying to do more than you are able to do. I'm also guilty of this practice when I wrote something a few years ago.
Yep, but yeah, we have all these different characters working together. As they're in limbo, where we meet Merryman among some of the other characters who would go to when they're not used. Again, stuff like this I really do like on a meta sense. Like the book with infinite pages. It contains every story, every book. So it includes downloading the manual to repair the ship. But then we get the stuff with the bleed energy, which eventually shows what's going to be happening soon with Final Crisis. And again, you get visions of the future as we find out about the Superman robot, the cosmic robot. Someone then is attacking all the monitors, that was the vision they saw from the book. Billy got reverted back to normal. And they make it where, because they realize we got this. But we also find out that the monitor, they're vampires. At least some of them are. But we also find out Mandrake has risen. He will be back soon. And basically, Ultraman says, evil triumphs, Superman. There's nothing you could do about it. Evil wins in the end. Because that was the whole point of this. It was supposed to be the day evil won.
Yeah, and evil is basically the Ultraman's. This is the Earth 3 Ultraman, or the Antimatter Ultraman.
Yeah, but they're saying, Limbo says no. They fight it off. The monitor is connecting herself into the ship. It is that she's a vampire, but she's not evil per se.
Vampires are real, but not all of them
evil. Yeah, and she even picked Billy because even says, I could have chosen Savior or Majestic, Supremo, Guardsmith, Hyperius, Icon, or Principal. I chose you because she was worthy of their attention and because of his great heart. But yeah, they're soon going to lead to Superman versus Ultraman, but Shazam gets in between them. Adam is doing everything he can to try and repair everything. He's opening his mind. The two of them fight. He fuses the two together into the cosmic machine, which is basically all Supermans at once.
Yeah.
As he's marching through there. And
the one thing, that one line here.
Yeah, the fact
that monitors see us and the hate crime meets selfless act.
Yep. And the fact that we monitor that 5,555 different words for nothing. Really? But yeah, he makes his way there, realizing, there's the one monitor we saw from earlier. He's basically draining the energies. But then the hour has come. Night falls across creation. The first outcast rises the reeks of shadows of neglect. I hold the elixir, Superman, to which cannot be held or bottled or consumed except by us. And all you have to do is take it from me. Again, he's throwing this all at us, was almost basically saying, like, here, deal with it. Here, deal with it.
Yeah, not to mention it's. So most of this dialogue is as a word salad.
It is.
Like every panel has speech bubbles, like there's constant back and forth.
Yeah.
If this was adapted, it would need to be as long as an audiobook, so that all of this could be said in it.
Yep. Hold on. I'm just double checking about this. Hold on. Okay. So basically, Mandrake was the first monitor that the original monitor subdivided into. So that's how it is. But yeah, he's fighting against the cosmic armor. But then we find out that Zero Vala was one that he loved. But because she was calling out, he would say, like, deep within the germ world, I found a better story. One created to be unstoppable, indestructible. This is where, and Jeff Johns will play off of it in Doomsday Clock as well. The idea of Superman can't be defeated because his story is indestructible.
Yeah.
Because he's always the first. Everything ties back to Superman or a variation of Superman. In the DC multiverse, anyway, not in the real world.
Yeah.
So yeah, and apparently, yeah, he and Zilovala were the parents of Nix Wotan.
Huh. No wonder she was trying to comfort
help the lover.
Yeah.
It was basically her son's lover.
Yeah. And by the extent, daughter-in-law.
But yeah, so they keep on fighting until eventually he stops Mandrake, but he doesn't kill him. So why does he then put on the tombstone? Well, we'll see in a moment. But yeah, basically the only way they can do it if they have to hurry at his most top speed ever to get the substance to Lois to help her. But we also see that the other Ogama is the monitor. He finds Ultraman and corrupts him and turns him into a vampire. And Mandrake is going to get ready because he knows it's going to be time to strike soon.
Hey, I just realized the Vampire League that Morrison created in the
multiversity.
Yeah, that Vampire League didn't have a Superman. That Vampire League has an Ultraman.
It did. It had a Superman, that one. And
then it was turned into Ultraman in...
I think so. I don't think they ever appeared. We never really saw much of the Vampire League.
It was a flash forward where Wally was going through...
but that wasn't Morrison's idea.
Okay, someone else did it.
But yeah, so Lois is fine, completely up and at him and everything. And what did he write? To be continued. Yeah. Then we have Submit, which basically fills in the gaps between the months.
As it was to be concluded.
Yep. And we have, well, no, when you say to be continued, it's a perpetual phrase. It's like tomorrow never comes. But anyway, so Submit, we focus on Black Lightning and Tattoo Man. And I gotta say, I'll just breeze through it, but I like this story. We basically see how they all fought. We see Tattoo Man actually get a redemption arc. Where he's going to try and be a good guy. Too bad he ended up on the Deathstroke Titans.
Yeah, whose idea was that?
No idea, but he was the one who was trying to be good. And we have Black Lightning sacrificing himself so that everyone could get away.
And it's being taken.
Yep. But yeah, so that leads in. Now we have Carlos Pacheco and Jesus Marino also joining in on our team.
Yeah, it's not much different from the previous issues.
So we find out that they've been spreading out newspapers everywhere through, the Daily Planet to try as messages. Ray is doing that, and Green Arrow's helping out, and they find Tattoo Man, who basically is coming from Submit to give him a warning. We see we see Wally's kids. We see everyone have been hiding out at the Hall of Justice. Oh boy, the fact they killed off a Negative Woman among others, I was like, really? And I say, is that not Professor Bones?
Director Bones.
Director Bones.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see some of the others as Turpin is more and more being corrupted in that whole month. So yeah, Calabac is turned into a tiger being, and humankind descends into the forever pit has begun. Bring on your glorious incarnation, great one. Hallelujah! So yeah, they're basically told that they have to get out of there. And, that they need to move somewhere else and everything. Now, notice, Kingdom Come Superman, I think the reason why he was labeled as MIA is I think he literally just left Injustice Society right before everything went down, so they just assumed he was MIA.
Yeah.
Like, no one updated him.
Yeah, that's...
Well, now we see Amanda Waller's working with Renee, and basically so much is being thrown in here. We find out that everyone has these other areas to be around, different areas. Like the Fortress of Solitude is there. We have Gorilla City, I believe. So many different areas are safe havens at the moment.
Oh, and Condog.
Of course, Condog.
Condog is being reached out.
Right. But fortunately, they have to teleport out there because they're being surrounded. We find out about now. Jeff John later clarified that it was Zoom who brought Barry back at this point.
Yeah, Professor Zoom.
Yep, but yeah, I love this
not
how
the Solomon
basically
Zoom.
Yep, so they're all, but he's happy to see him. That he's finally back at everything. Catwoman was Wonder Woman as the new female Furies. Makes sense.
And Batwoman and
Yep, Giganta. But yeah, so they're trying to get out of there. But now this is Pacheco's artwork, and you could tell.
Yeah, it kind of shifts somewhat.
Yeah, but yeah, they transport out of there as they're being attacked. And, well, he gets captured as well.
Poor Oli. At least he did.
Yep, he went down fighting.
Yeah.
But now they're told then, sums up for the triumph of the human spirit, or sums down to some of the day of Holocaust that will never end. And first of all, Barry meets up with Iris again. But that, oh boy, they didn't change it here. Look at Shiloh. He's white.
Oh yeah, and here.
And here they fixed it. They fixed it to make him definitely black.
Yeah.
But Darkseid.
Given.
Yep, Darkseid says. So,
Given.
Yep. Now I'm gonna skip this one. This one was one of the more unnecessary. Well, just a random one shot that was thrown in.
Okay, that's not in the hard.
Nope, it's not. No, it's not. We've gone over everything that was in the hardcover plus Requiem. I wanted to do Requiem because it deserved it. But yeah, so we have Hell being on here. Oh, I should point out once again the graphic audio is great here.
Okay, I need to put it on my watch later list.
Yep. But basically then Kyle and Guy show up and point out how we couldn't get near Earth. We think the scar in Hal Jordan's head is hiding an implant processor, a suppressor chip. That's why she's been staying close to him. She put it in here while he was unconscious and is hiding her from detection. Alpha Lantern Kraken is hosting one of the Apocalypse God. She tried to murder Green Lantern John Stewart, and we ain't having it. I'm pretty much following what was said in there.
Yeah, and this doesn't come across as something that how normal people would say that. Like, I can get that it's basically a statement or an accusation that Guy is throwing out, but
I love it.
Doesn't come across as natural.
Not really. But I was like, what can I say? That it was folly to underestimate the power and craft of Darkseid? Have you any idea how easy it is for a god to hollow out a living mind and hide in the bleeding shell? As easy as it's been for me to reach the central power battery, and providing the raw energy for the rings of the Green Lantern, the deadliest reptile in the universe. Imagine Darkseid's unstoppable will in command of all this power. I'll be his favorite again. Is this the ultimate technology Metron pointed them towards? A deadly plasma response to the dictates of pure will? Well, it belongs to Granny now. Trust me, the actress was having a blast reading that bit.
I can imagine.
And the music just builds and builds. As we then see Hal wakes up like, I'm sorry, Kraken. I know it's not you. Jordan, your wills and against rings only work if you can think. Basically, the audiobook makes it much more epic.
Yeah.
Here is one panel.
Yeah, one panel, and it tries to be more than it actually is, or it is more than it actually manages to portray here.
Exactly, and but yeah, he's been provided the ring and everything, and even like, we kick ass. Your ring, Jordan. You have 24 hours to save the universe, because basically when Granny Goodness grabbed it, and the power battery transported away there. So they all have a 24-hour charge.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Waller is working around. We see all the stuff like from OMAC and everything, the biomechs. And basically, this is their last stand. I gotta say, this is completely different from current Waller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Waller seems to have been more. Amanda Waller has more or less been flanderized into being more and more like.
I would say there's two directions she can go. One where she's doing everything she can to protect it, or where she is currently. That's how I look at it. Is it flanderization? No, I think it's more of a case where there's two paths she could have gone. We're seeing one path here. The New 52 is a different path. It feels natural. I do not think it's that flanderized.
Okay. Retract what I just said.
That's my opinion.
And let's instead go with that. It's the character is become two-dimensional with her,
Yes.
which is it a good or a bad thing to have a two-dimensional character?
It depends. Sometimes a two-dimensional character is not that bad, especially if they're more of a means to an end for others. Like in this case, she's clearly a pawn of the light in the current stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
But even if she's used as much she is, then if they're just doubling down on the current portrayal, it's been growing old rather fast.
Agreed. But we see so many of them, Tempest and the others fighting. They show up, with they try to say, like, you shot Mr. Miracle. We came through space and time and everything to save you. Mother Box heals him as he gets back up. He's basically showing them how they can handle things. So much is going on here. So much is just being thrown in. And we have made clear time is collapsing. That's why it happened. It's happening so rapidly.
And it's not that the book is running out of pages.
No, no. So yeah, they're all showing up to face off. They're trying to get their way into Command D. Black Adam versus Mary Marvel, but eventually then leads to Supergirl versus Mary Marvel soon. Okay, now Nix Wotan's been thrown in with some of the others, including Metron, who's been stuck in this body. He's basically like, he doesn't remember anything, but part of him does. Now, we also have this whole notion of someone, if they're able to do a magical number of a Rubik's Cube and certain number of moves, they'll unlock the number of the god. And apparently...
17.
Yep.
The number of the god is 17.
Yep. Metron then does it, and Nix Wotan is activated. Now, I do also love this. Lex is preparing to betray them all. Libra, I mean.
Yeah.
But first he's acting. Now I love it. If you show will, and I don't love it. I hate this. I mean, if you show willing, I may even let you be first in line with Supergirl. Why would he think he'd be interested in that? Okay, but here, Supergirl versus Mary Marvel.
The Matrix Supergirl is not canon anymore, right?
It's always up in the air.
Would Libra be able to remember
No,
past...
because she wasn't there. He wasn't there for that.
Okay, would she be able to go to look past and see if it's being a thing?
Possibly. That could have been you're right, that could be a throwback to that. Who knows? But yeah, basically we see Nix Wotan now as the judge of all evil.
Oh.
Okay, this one I'm going to breeze through as well, but this one was one where we find out what happened to Libra. This was actually written by Len Wein, who wrote that old issue.
Oh.
See, this is Libra in his original outfit. He took all the powers of the League and used it, fused it in himself. But then he just became so powerful that he just decorporealized. But then we find out that he landed at the Source Wall, where Metron met up with him. Darkseid found him and he brought him in. And Libra's like, that's what I've been trying to tell you, damn you, since you started torturing me. I'm ready to serve you now. So yeah, and that's what led to that. We also have all these other backup stuff and artwork from Morrison, Super Demon.
Huh. Yeah.
Oh, now we got the Batman issue.
Yeah.
Now this I like. This is basically showing what happened after Legion of Three Worlds, which I also have gone over. I love it. I calculate we have exactly 72.4 seconds before time breaks down and this sentence becomes meaningless. Where basically he wants to show them the Miracle Machine, which they have a copy. The Miracle Machine can grant anything. By the way, you know who created the Miracle Machine? The controllers. But I love this. He basically tells them, look at the weapon and memorize it. And he does.
Okay. Hopefully the machine is making it be the miracle of.
Yeah. The Miracle Machine can do anything, but it doesn't have the power source yet. So yeah, Mary and Supergirl still facing. And eventually, we also get Cal back versus Talkie Tawny.
And Tony wins.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. But yeah, everyone's controlled. We got big fights. Again, this isn't bad, but it's not as epic as it should be.
Yeah, it's not exactly like portrayed or shot or.
I think this makes it clear Morrison should never have done an event. Would you agree with that?
Or if he did, he should
keep it within a title.
Sorry.
Not a big crossover event.
Should have had a co-writer to go it over with.
Yeah, but Morrison, he never does co-writers. But yeah, Tawny wins, and he ends up.
Some writers need co-writers.
Yep.
Or writing teams.
Yep. Freddie reverts her back, and she's completely like, "Oh God, I didn't mean any of this. It wasn't you." Now I love this. He's right thinking they're going to kill him, and he's like, "I'm sorry. We've all had to meet under such appalling circumstances, but do your worst, gentlemen." I love that. He's just like, "Do your worst." Huh? I like that, don't you?
Yeah, if Kalibak was leading them and he was the alpha, and Tony killed the alpha.
Yeah.
Now he
was prepared to die. He was prepared to die.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, he's white again. That tells you how much they rushed this. That tells you how much they rushed this. So yeah, basically everyone's protected with the tape and with all that stuff on him. They're trying to come up with a way to transport people to a different Earth. Some of the people are going on board the satellite now.
Yeah.
We got Adam and Ray. They're going to do the whole shrinking through the multiverse. As all these psychics are doing all this.
The thing that Ray did at the end of Infinite Identity Crisis that led him to Countdown.
Yep, we see all of this is being done with a new Brother Eye to try and take him through, or Lord Eye, sorry, and it's to take him to a new place on the universe. They even have template clones of Renee. Now, Renee looks weird here.
Yeah, like, if you didn't tell me that it was Renee Montoya, I would be asking, like, who exactly is this?
Yeah, basically they're trying to use this as a emergency escape pod to get people out to a different Earth.
Yeah. Maybe what the Earth 3 Luthor did.
Yep. But yeah, so Luthor and Lex takes out Libra, although I love it. That's a classic. We haven't ever heard the last of him if I ever saw one. But we never do see him again. We find out how the Flashes are pretty much immune to a lot of the stuff because of the Speed Force. And they realize they need to get the Black Racer. Trick him. Batman shows up. He broke free in his own books. And
I have the book right somewhere there.
Yep. You shouldn't have shot Orion. It was Orion's destiny to fall in the final battle. Splintered like a light through a prism in an infinite number of deaths. And on the way, he wounded you beyond repair, didn't he? A rotten carcass of a god crawling into the sewer to die. I made a solemn vow about firearms. But for you, I'm making a once-in-a-lifetime exception. This doesn't amount to anything!
Yeah,
So basically, Batman shot him. But then he gets Omega.
As a once-in-a-lifetime exception, it can be like, that leads to. By the way, also, I think I was in the I drew some kind of a wall collage of my own fanfiction at one point, which was also kind of a recreation of Final Crisis, but also in a way that it was a continuation of one comic that never had a proper sequel.
Right.
It was Okay, let's talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
It's too long of a story to put here.
Yeah, but I'll say this. Again, if you look at everything, it actually does make sense. They do explain it all, but you gotta just understand and take it at face value. But yeah, Superman has returned. He's pissed. He flies into Command D and finds what he believes to be Batman's body. We later find out it's not. It's one of the bad clones.
Yeah, because in this book, the clones are just mentioned like on one panel, and it's a blink and you miss it. Can you miss it?
But here's where we get Doug Monkey taking over. We are introduced to Calvin Ellis. Love it.
Yeah. Well,
great character.
The hair is something that they probably didn't think of through here because it's
again, Renee with the cursing. I don't fucking believe it. All fucking multiverse and they all look like you guys. So yeah, she's gathering up an army. And yeah, global peace agent. So yeah, the Watchtower is one of the last things left. Yep, everyone is there. They've been reduced down. They're basically sending out a last possible message. All this year jumps around history, but it makes sense in the one issue. Like here, like, you turned your back and I wrecked your world. I robbed your people of their powers, their hopes, their futures, themselves. What will you do when your friends, your enemies, your lover are all Darkseid? And we then see, from what we write, it's Turpin. Of all the people you could have chosen, Batman, you would have resisted longer than I wished. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, considering how Batman broke the cloning machine where they were trying to copy his trauma and everything else.
Yeah. Now, then we see he's about ready to shoot. This is where Orion's death happened. The gun being shot and everything that would start everything. But then
that reminds me. The SCP Foundation, they had that one futuristic some SCP gun that you put a date and a time and a clock date and a time
something
of
like
day, shoot at it and it fires somewhere. You can you can fire it in the past or the future. That's something that some SCP writer created. I don't remember what the designation.
Well, but I love this though. They thanks to the flashes, they bring the Black Racer and grab it grabs Darkseid. Then we see Arthur return again, mounts to nothing. Turpin it's back to normal. Now they're trying to realize they have to do something because everything is still collapsing worse and worse. So I don't even love this with Lex. Outrageous. Too bad we're only permitted to work in sections, Savannah. This looks to me like something capable of rewriting the laws of physics. So everyone is working on the miracle machine per Superman's instructions. Yeah, we see so much going on here. We see things are getting worse as with the Omax, and we see the deaths was supposed to be the deaths of Carter and Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Again, mounts to nothing.
Yeah, because they died.
He didn't die yet. Right? We see Renee tell Overman about Overgirl, which gets referenced in Multiversity. They would say Libra was the anti-life equation, and now he's not. The odds are against you. And here's me in charge of an army of mind-controlled super criminals. And even said, we'll call this an historic first team-up of the force of the good and the force of the bad. And I'll take the credit for a win. Whatever you say, Lex. Whatever you say.
In the end, they all win.
Yeah, but yeah, everyone's been frozen and shrunk down to microscopic levels so they can all be contained because they know everything's getting worse. We see Wonder Woman gets free. Again, it's jumping around because, again, time is collapsing. That's why it's doing this. But yeah, and then Darkseid shows up. And
yeah, this was the one that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, this was to be his true form.
Yeah, this was some idea that I had when I still have my old stories on fanfiction.net, and the final story where I had it was supposed to be something kind of a recreation. Okay, yeah, okay.
Sorry, we'll get there. We will get to that. But yeah, we see Darkseid. This is his true form, being the god of evil, but he's still so weakened. He even thinks like he'll use the miracle machine, but instead, what does he do? Superman sings a song. It could be any song you want. But with that gone, and now everything's so quiet, it's down to almost nothing. He's able to find the element X from the Mobius chair and use it to power the miracle machine enough for one wish. But then, exhausted, isolated, your father failed to save his world. Mandrake shows up with Ultraman taking out Supergirl. And we see Radiant, who was just introduced in one of the other tie-ins, and Spectre taken out. And even said, like, I'm a solar battery. I store light in myself. So he actually uses that to ignite things. And we get the one wish. Soon the Lanterns show up. All these Supermen show up in a once-in-a-lifetime moment of them showing up. Again, we have all this awesomeness. We even get the zoo crew restored to normal after they were stupidly reversed to real animals.
Huh.
And then, again, though, it's just like, all of this stuff is awesome, but it's not that epic as you want it to. You know, it's epic in scope, but it's going by too fast.
Yeah, this is like a. If you could compare it, like it's a good script, but it doesn't have the right director. Like
no, exactly. But yeah, so they stake the vampire and everything. I mean, look at the Supermen show up, the zoo crew show up, and all they do is heat vision and then stake. Like what?
Yeah.
And everything is restored to normal now after everything. There's the 52 are still out there. And we see the Lanterns all head back. Everything's resorting back to normal. Many people are now, including the new guys, are going to be on Earth 51. That's where some of the other people are at. Where it's going to be lived anew. Although Earth 51 will eventually become utilized in Grant Morrison's Green Lantern, Dark Lanterns or whatever.
Yeah.
But Nick Swotu then, he decides it's the time for the monitors is at an end. So he wipes them all out and leaves himself to be the last line protector as he wakes up. And then we end
separated from his lover.
Yep. But then we see Anthro die as Batman is there, setting up Return of Bruce Wayne.
Also right there.
Again, this is bonkers. Now, here's the question. What would you say was better, 0 Hour or this? Tough one, isn't
0 Hour was shorter than this.
Definitely shorter, and it accomplished more.
Yeah. This was like trying way too much with more than just one book could contain in it, because it also had to get the Superman Beyond there, not to mention the issue with Black Lightning and Tattooed Man,
which wasn't even really necessary.
More or less, it's because
again, this is why Morrison...
Superman Beyond probably needed to somehow explain where the vampire monitor came from in the final issue, and Black Lightning and Tattooed Man, why Tattooed Man arrived to Hall of Justice with the tattoo.
We said this is the only major crossover event Morrison has done. And I don't think Morrison wanted this to be a big event.
How did it reach this far? It's that if this was his doing, and he got the idea.
No. I think it was no. I think the story itself was supposed to be it. I just don't think he wanted it to be the big major summer blockbuster event.
Summer blockbuster.
We'll see about Infinite Crisis, Blackest Night, Civil War.
Okay, yeah,
that's all they were the summer blockbuster event. This wasn't. This was more like something you would get in the spring or fall.
Yeah.
A big movie you would get in spring or fall.
Which would have probably worked better as a multiple episode TV series.
And I was going to say this. Morrison did a better job with a big event, and that was DC 1 Million.
Oh. Yeah, that was series, and then it had all those 1 million issues.
Yep. But again, here though, it was just Again, is it incomprehensible? No, it is definitely not incomprehensible. Anyone who says it is didn't read it that well.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, like I said, you need to read it twice.
You do.
To get the first.
Especially for the time stuff. Especially for the time stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for that. It's basically like the kind of like how Yoko Taro did Niers. Like you need to go through the story multiple times and see the different perspectives.
And did you notice Darkseid gets more recognized for this than Mandrake does?
Yeah, because Mandrake's more or less he's just in the Superman Beyond, and then he shows up in the final issue as as a hijack by Ganon kind of bad.
Exactly. And again, this wasn't bad. This really wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. There are like I said, there are moments that like inspired, have done some inspirations. Like I was about to say, I used to have a wall collage of A3 pages where I drew some different scenes on my own way of recreating Final Crisis, or more or less just things that lead to Batman dying. Because, like I said before we started the recording, you lived through while Death of Superman was happening. You have that
in my youth.
Yeah,
I
your
lived through
youth.
this year.
And in my high school years, that was when Batman RAP was happening. I experienced that Batman's death while it was happening. Like I said,
well, again, so did I.
I ordered this from online along with multiple other books, so I could have Morrison's Batman on the story leading up telling Batman's death, and which then led to Bruce Wayne's return.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, overall, this was an interesting event. But like I said, I think DiDio pushed this too hard, made it bigger than it was meant to be.
Yeah, it's like
it's why everything around it. It's why everything around it had more impact, long-term impact than the event itself.
Yeah, imagine if this was like a something that you have an idea and start working on it. It gets done, and then you probably focus on something else. Then when you come back to it at some point, hear someone doing some kind of negative to.
I got a better idea.
Or some kind of thing, and you look it back and you're like, why did no one stop me from doing this better?
I got a better idea. It's more like a movie that's been working. It's set in an established IP. It's more of an art house movie, but unfortunately, then the executive realized, yeah, but isn't that what people are wanting? So they market it like it's going to be a big thing. People go see it and they realize this isn't what the marketing said it was.
Yes.
One of those type of things. I think that's the comparable for this. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, let's go with that.
So yeah, I mean, now the artwork here. Say what you want about Infinite Crisis with the different artists. At least they were all comparable. And some to a point for the first 6 issues it was. And you saw Doug Monkey, who was great, but he doesn't match any of the others.
Yeah.
I get what they're going for. It
goes with the Superman Beyond issues because Mock did those.
Yeah, and I get that because we're having Mandrake show up. But again, Mandrake shouldn't have been involved. I'm sorry. What was the point of Mandrake? Just to have that excuse to have all those characters there?
No idea.
Again, there's a lot in here. There's a lot in here. But this should have been his own self-contained story, kind of like Multiversity was.
Yeah. Not to mention, it also tying to Batman RAP. Because Batman's death, whole thing, it was marketed as a story that was also happening. Or it would be leading up to in Batman fighting against the Black Glove in there. It went issues to issues where it was led up, and then at one point just continues in Final Crisis 6.
Exactly. But again, is this bad? No, but again, here's the other thing. Where does this fit in with this being a crisis? It didn't shake up the world or anything.
Well, it probably did some shaking up somewhat before putting it back and reassembling everything as it was before picking it up.
All right.
Because looking at like ongoing series like Batman, Superman, Green Lanterns, and so on, those series, how many of them outside of like Batman because of Batman RIP, how much impact did this story have to them?
Not really. Again,
Yeah,
there's all the other tie-ins and everything that had more of an impact, and John's death.
Yeah.
So yeah,
this was a small idea that was blown way out of the port.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's a small idea blown way out of proportion. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty much all we got to say about this one. Thank you so much. And next time, we're going to be doing Flashpoint. Otherwise, we'd have a big gap between here and Metal.
Yeah, it's when I thought I left it behind myself, it's just.
I know. I mean, technically, it's not a pro to do, but we're going to fit it in just for consistency's sake. Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah.
As long as I haven't covered it beforehand, I could slip it in.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
May your heart be your guiding key.